Hello, yes. Welcome back. So, in 2014, something kind of interesting happened in the Super Smash Bros. World. Famous twin, Dylan Sprouse, decided that he was interested in commentating at a Super Smash Bros. Tournament. It started with this Reddit post. I guess there's a... There he is, look. Hello, our Smash Bros. Anyways, he went and, well, he ended up commentating that event. It was a really surreal situation for the Smash community. As far as I know, it is pretty much the highest profile instance of a celebrity really getting involved with Smash Bros. At least, I think so. But there are other celebrities or other famous people who have gotten involved in Smash Bros. To varying degrees, and I just really couldn't get the question out of my head. Is Dylan Sprouse the most famous person to have played Smash? So, on the x-axis, we have how famous is this person relative to Dylan Sprouse? And on the y-axis, we have how into Smash is this person relative to Dylan Sprouse. I've come up with a list, and we'll use a little bit of Googling, a little bit of Google Trends to determine where they belong on this chart. So the first interesting place to look would be who is the most famous person who is a Smash player. It's probably either Mang0 or Hungrybox, because they're the longest active Five Gods Melee, and it's probably Hungrybox because he is a little bit of a clout goblin. You know, he's not as far off as I was expecting. It looks like he hovers somewhere between like 1/10 of the size of Dylan, which, you know, that's not bad. Where is Mang0? Yeah, Mang0 and Hungrybox, they're kind of around the same level. Well, let's get some heads in here. Look at that little face. If we're being perfectly fair here, I think he's down here. He's at the bottom relative to all these other guys, but he's at the very top of how into Smash he is. These two guys can be over here. All right, so that's a good place to start, but we can get a little bit broader. First of all, we've got Dan Salvato, the creator of Doki Doki Literature Club. Dan was pretty well known in the Melee community before he ever released Doki Doki Literature Club because he was a pretty well-known Melee modder. He had worked on some pretty useful and helpful mods for Melee, and he was also pretty good at the game. I'm actually super curious where this lands. Holy moly. Okay, Doki Doki Literature Club actually like low-key gaps Dylan. That's crazy. Sorry, Dylan. I think Dan Salvato pretty involved in the Melee community. Honestly, he kind of goes like around here. It's not bad. And then one last Smash affiliated game designer, game developer. We've got Toby Fox. Toby Fox, of course, created Undertale, one of the most popular indie games of all time, and he also appeared on an episode of the Scar and Toph show. Undertale's gotta be huge, right? Undertale, oh yeah, Undertale is so up there. And I get the impression that Toby, I don't know the exact extent of his Melee-them, but I think not quite as involved as Dan Salvato, but like he played for real, you know? He played the game. He probably could win a game or two or maybe a lot at a local tournament. He was on the Scar and Toph show. So that's the game developers. Who is the most popular Smash affiliated content creator? I think the only answer to this question is Ludwig. Ludwig started in the Smash scene. He was a commentator at mini Smash tournaments, and now he's doing great YouTube stuff and also representing the Smash community still. We'll see where Ludwig goes. Honestly, half a Dylan Sprouse with growing upwards trending, that's not bad at all. Honestly, this is probably weighed down a little bit because if you look over here, Ludwig he's kind of sprousing pretty hard. He's basically in Dylan territory. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's actually about as famous as Dylan Sprouse right now. There's Ludwig. All right, one last non-celebrity celebrity before we get into the real meat of the video. There is a Vine out there that I love, and maybe you've seen before, and if you haven't, I'm gonna play it for you right now.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side!
Wait, So, the kid from the I Have the Power of God and Anime on My Side Vine apparently plays Melee. He goes to locals and he plays Fox on a box. Cool, very modern of him. And great job. All right, we've gotten the internet-based celebrities out of the way. But what about the real deal? Actors, athletes, musicians. Who is out there playing Smash? Before we get into this section, I just want to say there are a few celebrities who have an asterisk next to their name because maybe they played Smash or were involved in some way, but it was because they were financially compensated to do so. And I just don't think that counts. First up, we've got Zac Efron. Zac Efron made a tweet plugging Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, aka Smash 4, shortly after the game came out. The tweet didn't say it was an ad, but it just looks like an ad. Number 2, we've got David Cross and Bob Odenkirk. There's this really famous set of Getty images from this promotional event from Nintendo where the two are playing Melee. It's awesome, it's great. I don't think they ever touched the game ever again since. Number 4, we've got people who attended the Smash Invitational. This was for a Smash 4 promotional event. To be honest, I don't know any of these people, but they were famous enough to be in a celebrity show match. And then finally, number 4, if this was on the real list, it would clearly be the most famous person to have ever played Smash, but it's fucking Obama. Apparently, there was a Smash player who enjoys Smash 64, and they were able to get a Make-A-Wish in which they were able to play Smash 4 with Obama. And there is a photo. This is the photo. Really cool. Obama played Smash. Now, we will actually enter into real celebrities, and I hope that I've edited the video so that not too much time has passed for us to get here. This first actor, I think, is probably the best contender on here, and that is Asa Butterfield. He's a pretty decorated actor, and he's pretty well known to be very active in the Smash community. He's attended events, he's partnered with esports organizations, and he was even on the Yard podcast. Maybe true Asa heads do know this. He has so many middle names. Asa Maxwell Thornton Farr Butterfield. But apparently on his birth certificate, it just says Bob. Let's see how he ranks on the Dylan-o-meter. Alright, so Asa, he's like 1/3 of a Dylan. That makes sense. You know, because he goes to this stuff, because he's involved, he's like kind of Toby Fox tier. He's like there. But next up, this one I think is pretty fun and exciting. Timothée Chalamet, star of Dune, star of Call Me By Your Name, along with many other movies, said in an interview once that he was really into Melee or Smash when he was younger, and then got back into Smash because of Melee in high school. I would argue that anybody who got into Melee during high school, who's around his age, that only happens if the Smash documentary or the fallout from the Smash documentary impacted you. And I think that counts as a step of fandom above just having played the game casually. And yeah, looks like Timothée Chalamet, he's worth approximately 4 Dylan Sprouses. I guess he's around the same interest as Dylan Sprouse. So he's around here. Next, another actor. This one is a little bit weird. The writer and star of cult classic movie The Room, Tommy Wiseau, once made this tweet, wherever I'm putting it on the screen. And, you know, he maybe made this image himself. He probably didn't. So he's definitely at the bottom of the involvement and interest here. But the fact that the tweet exists at all is kind of remarkable. This is great. Basically 1/3 of a Dylan Sprouse. Yeah, not bad. We'll go around here. Honestly, probably about as low as you can go. I could not find any other actors who had like plausible evidence that they've played Smash, but one kind of actors that I did find was the late night television programming block on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. They made a tweet that simply stated, Melee greater than Ultimate. I'm not trying to pick any fights here. I'm not saying anything. Adult Swim cable channel is approximately 2 Dylan Sprouses. Okay, we'll knock it down a little bit because a collective isn't like an individual, and there's probably some people at Adult Swim who've never touched Smash in their life, but I think this is fair. So we're done with the actors section, but things really start to get interesting when you start looking at musicians. The actor to musician corollary of Dylan Sprouse commentated a Smash event in 2014 is that Taylor Hicks, the winner of the 5th season of American Idol, this was all the way back in 2006, entered EVO 2013 in Melee. He didn't do great, but he still entered, and that's a decent amount of effort for someone who wasn't even like that young at the time. So this was 10 years ago, 2013. He's 46 years old, so that means that he went to EVO for Super Smash Bros. Melee when he was 36 years old. That's like, the more I think about this, the less sense it makes, honestly. But I guess he just likes Melee. It looks like he's actually less famous than Hungrybox and Mang0. But you know what? Taylor Hicks, you won American Idol. That's awesome. Good for you, man. You can go... I guess he also attended a tournament, so he's like on the same tier as Dylan Sprouse. Next up on the musicians, we have 21 Pilots, alternative rock / pop rock group that found huge success in the mid-2010s. They were all over the radio if you were listening at that time. And in particular, one of the two, Taylor Joseph, is actually pretty involved in Smash. He's attended several events. He follows a lot of people in the Smash community on Twitter. He's clearly a fan of the game. So there's a little bit of a come down, but 21 Pilots still outclassing Dylan Sprouse. We're looking at about a 2 to 3 Dylan Sprouses. Honestly, I think more involved than Dylan Sprouse from what I was reading. So around here. I'm actually getting a huge kick out of looking at this image. Next up on the musicians list, we have DragonForce, long-standing power metal band, most well known for their famous song Through the Fire and Flames, featured on Guitar Hero 3, legendary song. The DragonForce Twitter account tweeted out at Wizrobe after he won his first major. That's a pretty deep cut, and on one of the album credits, one of the members of DragonForce credits several Smash characters that they play on the album. I think that's pretty solid. DragonForce, you definitely have fan status in my eyes. Okay, 1/6 of a Dylan Sprouse. Yeah, these guys just are making music that they love, and they're not hurting anybody, and they like Smash. I guess it's around here. You know, I'm looking at this, I'm actually kind of shocked that from the list I came up with so far, we don't have very many people below Dylan Sprouse. Like, I think there's a valid argument for pretty much all of these people to be near or slightly above him. Okay, moving on. Number 4 on the musicians list, we've got Porter Robinson, EDM superstar. He put out a great debut album, has only followed up with more great music, has a very awesome, distinct visual aesthetic, love the use of vocals on his music. Porter has been a long time Smash fan. There's imagery of him playing Smash. He follows many Smash personalities on Twitter. After Leffen won Evo, he tweeted at him to congratulate him. Porter's definitely in the sauce. There's even a tweet that I remember seeing where he like listed out his Smash mains across like different games in the series. Looks like Porter Robinson is approximately 1/3 of a Dylan Sprouse. Very respectable. I think him and Asa are chilling. They're like homies. Next, Brockhampton, hip-hop boy band that made huge waves in 2017 with the Saturation trilogy, one of the best album trilogies of all time. Straight up, legitimately, one of the best. There is some footage of band members playing Melee in a documentary of them. There are also minor lyrical references to Kirby in one of their songs. It's not the most, but it is enough to count as having played Smash. Ebbs and flows a little bit, but approximately a Dylan Sprouse. I'll put them right below Dylan. Yeah, I think they're around Adult Swim tier. I think that makes sense to me. Next, T-Pain, rapper, producer, very well known for helping popularize the auto-tune sound effect that people went from loving to hating to loving again. Absolutely all over the music industry in the mid to late 2000s. Also now a Twitch streamer. T-Pain probably is not playing a lot of Smash, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. But he did once attend the New York City local tournament, The Nightclub, where he was photographed playing Smash Ultimate. And that counts for something because he showed up. Okay, so T-Pain, he's still hanging. He's still hanging. A little bit more famous than Dylan Sprouse, but maybe a lot less involved. Kind of above Brockhampton though, because he went to a local. I get that maybe he doesn't play a lot of Smash, but he went to an event, and that counts. I think that counts a lot. Next, we have Joji, formerly known as Filthy Frank or Pink Guy, the shock YouTuber turned heartthrob, once played Ultimate on stage during a concert for like 2 minutes. If you watch the gameplay, it's pretty obvious that Joji is not playing a lot of Smash, but he played Smash. That's what this video is all about. Ooh, he's like worth 2 Dylan Sprouses. I'm losing track of the scale. He's probably around here. All right, this one's weird. Travis Scott, there's a video of him playing Brawl. That's it. It's evidence that he played. Travis Scott, ultra super duper mega rapper nowadays, more of a brand than a person, really. Absolutely eclipses Dylan Sprouse. He's probably the bottom right corner of this diagram. Not going to comment on any of his controversies. You probably already know about them. And finally, CHON, the popular math rock band, has a member named Mario, who is pretty into Ultimate and plays, I believe he plays Yoshi, and like won a local tournament once. Good enough to beat anybody in your local scene is frankly quite hard. So shout outs to Mario from CHON. You're over there. Good job winning that tournament. All right, we are reaching the final stretch. This last category, honestly, I was expecting to be the most stacked, and it's not barren at all. But we're gonna be looking at athletes because I know that athletes really like video games. They especially like competitive video games. There are so many instances of athletes talking about video games that they've played, that they enjoy playing. I've heard Counter-Strike, I've heard StarCraft, I've heard Smash Bros, and we're gonna get into it. I've heard all kinds of things. First off on the list, Le'Veon Bell, former NFL running back, drafted 48th overall, played for the Steelers, Jets, Chiefs, Ravens, and Buccaneers. He's a pretty good football player, at least former football player. But most notably, he co-hosted one of Hungrybox's weekly net play tournaments with Hungrybox, The Box, which drew in over 8,000 participants. Bell entered the tournament and he went 7-2. That's shockingly well, considering that he was playing in the NFL at the time of that tournament. Good shit. Looks like he's around half of Dylan Sprouse. Honestly, he's probably around here. He's hanging with Porter, Asa. He's in there. Next up, we have Ryan Garcia. He's a top 5-ish, top 10-ish, lightweight and nearby weight classes boxer, and he has tweeted about Ultimate several times, including challenging MK Leo, the GOAT, to a $30,000 money match. I don't know if that money match ever happened, and if it did, there was no world where he was winning without the scale tipped. But you know, to have the audacity to do that, I think signals to me a level of involvement with Smash that is there, because it's almost the most Smash player-like thing you could do, to have incredible amounts of hubris. He's basically worth 3 Dylan Sprouses. That's extremely respectable. I'm guessing he's around Dylan Sprouse tier. He's probably hanging with Timothée Chalamet. Nice. This one you might have seen if you are in the Smash scene. Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals, in a recent interview, said that he plays a lot of Ultimate with the Bengals and that he is a Ness main. And the fact that he used the terminology Ness main, that's like at least like barely Dylan Sprouse. You know, he's getting to Dylan Sprouse tier. Looks like he's 4 Dylan Sprouses. We'll say 3 or 4 Dylan Sprouses. I don't know what it is, but Ness is just a character that I feel respect towards when people play Ness. I don't know what it is. I think it's just because he's a little bit weird. Joe Cool, okay.
Probably a top 5 NFL quarterback right now, and he's only in his like 3rd or 4th year. When he goes to the NFL, his first year, he suffers an absolutely horrible injury because he's playing behind a really bad O-line. He comes back next year, like missing a lot of training camp. There's huge injury concerns. Like, this is not an easy injury to come back from. And this motherfucker, he takes the Cincinnati Bengals. Over the past 53 years, they were 0-7 in away playoff games. What he does is, in his fucking 2nd year there, is he wins 3 straight away playoff games to make the fucking Super Bowl. He's just got it. He's him, basically.
Awesome. This one I had never heard of. I was really surprised to discover this in my research. Clayton Kershaw, MLB pitcher for the LA Dodgers, 10-time All-Star, won the World Series with the Dodgers in 2020, and 3-time Cy Young Award winner, which basically is the best award that a pitcher can get in baseball. It means a lot, and he got 3 times. He's a generational athlete. He has a long-standing love with Smash 64 and has mentioned that he enjoys the game several times in interviews. He plays as Kirby, which one interview described as the pink blob. Love seeing Smash 64 on here. I just think that that's like the real one, you know? It doesn't sound like he's really involved in the Smash scene a lot, but childhood love for a game, I think that counts for something. He's hanging with T-Pain. He's hanging with Brockhampton. Oh, and he pitched a no-hitter in 2014. Pretty straightforward. Threw the ball, and the hitters couldn't hit it. That's awesome. 2 more. Russell Wilson, NFL quarterback for the Broncos, formerly the Seattle Seahawks. Helped the Seahawks win the Super Bowl in 2014, where they absolutely crushed the Broncos, the team he's now on. He said in an interview that he and the other Seattle Seahawks used to play a lot of Smash Bros. Makes sense, much more famous than Dylan, worth 7 Dylans, probably around here. I think this is about right. The very last one, the entire Tennessee Titans NFL team back in like 2014, I think was when the article was. One day, the clubhouse was being renovated, and they didn't have their HD TVs, they didn't have their PlayStations, and so one of the players, Taylor Lewin, brought in his N64, and the entire team got hooked on Smash 64 ever since, at least when the article was written. Again, love to see Smash 64 represented there. really, I think we've touched on all the Smash games. I think we got 64, Melee, Brawl, Smash 4, and Ultimate all touched on in here. They're worth 9 Dylan Sprouses, but that's because they're an NFL team. It's probably here-ish. And that's it. I don't know where I'm going to put it on the screen, but there is my, I don't know what to call this, tier list grid of famous people to play Smash Bros. I guess the answer to the question, the most famous person to play Smash Bros, is definitely Travis Scott. But I think that barely counts. I think the most legitimate one is probably Joe Cool or Timothée Chalamet. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list. Did I miss anybody? I had a fun time making this video. And you should sub to the Patreon if you would like to give me money. Okay, I think I've said my piece. Thanks for watching.